There is a quiet truth that has always surrounded us, so constant, so subtle that we never thought to question it. We look up at the night sky and believe we understand what we see. One moon, steady and faithful, guiding tides and lighting darkness. But what if our certainty was only a reflection of our limitations? The silent partner is not a story of something new appearing. It is the story of something old finally being noticed. For centuries, humanity has trusted its eyes, its instruments, and its conclusions. We mapped the heavens, named the stars, and believed we had uncovered the full rhythm of Earth's cosmic dance. Yet, hidden within that dance, moving softly and without announcement, there may have always been a second companion, small, elusive, and patient. Not all truths arrive with noise. Some remain invisible because they do not demand attention. They do not shine brightly or pull strongly. Instead, they exist in the margins, too faint to dominate, too real to disappear. This so-called second moon challenges more than astronomy. It challenges perception itself. It asks a simple but unsettling question: what else have we missed? Not because it was hidden, but because we never learned how to see it. We often believe discovery is about finding something new. But sometimes, discovery is about correcting our blindness. It is about realizing that reality does not owe us visibility. The universe does not adjust itself to fit our awareness. This silent partner, circling Earth in a delicate and temporary path, reminds us that existence is not defined by recognition. It was there, moving, existing, participating in the same cosmic story, long before we gave it a name, and perhaps that is the deeper lesson. In life, just like in the universe, there are silent forces shaping outcomes. Unseen efforts, unnoticed influences, quiet presences. Not everything important announces itself. Not everything meaningful demands applause. We live in a world obsessed with what is loud, bright, and obvious. But truth often resides in what is overlooked. The second moon is not just an object in the sky. It is a mirror held up to our awareness. It tells us to look again, to question what we assume is complete, to understand that reality is far richer than our current vision allows. And most importantly, it teaches us humility. Because if something as vast and close as a companion to our own planet can go unnoticed for so long, then perhaps we are only at the beginning of understanding. Not just the universe, but everything within it. So tonight, when you look up at the sky, remember, what you see is not all that is there. And what you fail to see may still be shaping your world in silence. Hidden reality exists. Not everything that exists is immediately visible. Some truths remain unnoticed simply because they are subtle or beyond our perception. Hidden reality exists, whether we acknowledge it or not. Much of what shapes our world operates quietly, beyond the reach of our immediate senses. We tend to trust what we can see, measure, and confirm, building our understanding around what feels certain and visible. But reality is not limited to what appears in front of us. It stretches far beyond our awareness, filled with subtle presences and overlooked truths that continue to exist regardless of our recognition. The idea of a second moon reflects this perfectly. It was not absent, it was simply unnoticed. Its existence did not depend on human awareness, nor did it require validation to be real. It moved silently, following its path, participating in the same cosmic system as everything else. The only thing missing was our ability to perceive it. This reveals something important. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Just because we do not see something does not mean it is not there. In everyday life, this principle appears in many forms. There are quiet efforts that go unrecognized, small actions that create lasting change, and influences that shape outcomes without ever drawing attention to themselves. People often overlook these elements because they do not demand focus. Instead, attention is drawn to what is loud, obvious, and immediate. Yet the unseen often carries more weight than what is visible. This invites a shift in how we approach the world. Instead of assuming completeness in what we know, there is value in accepting that our perspective is limited. There is always more beneath the surface, more within the silence. When we begin to respect the possibility of hidden realities, we become more observant, more open, and less certain of our assumptions. Recognizing this does not weaken understanding. It deepens it. It allows us to move beyond surface-level awareness and approach life with curiosity rather than certainty. And in that curiosity, we begin to notice what was always there, quietly waiting to be seen. Discovery is often awareness, not creation. The second moon represents how discovery is sometimes about recognizing what was already there, not finding something entirely new. Discovery is often misunderstood as the act of finding something entirely new, as if the world suddenly produces what did not exist before. In reality, discovery is more frequently an awakening, an adjustment in awareness that allows us to finally notice what has been present all along. The idea of a second moon captures this shift perfectly. It did not suddenly appear in the sky, it simply moved from being unknown to being recognized. This challenges a deeply rooted assumption that knowledge grows only by adding new pieces. Sometimes growth happens by seeing old pieces more clearly. The universe does not wait for us to discover it in order to exist. It unfolds continuously, whether we are paying attention or not. Our role is not to create reality, but to understand it more accurately over time. Throughout history, many breakthroughs have followed this pattern. Patterns that were once invisible become obvious once the right perspective or tools are applied. What changes is not the truth itself, but our ability to perceive it. The second moon serves as a reminder that there are layers of reality still beyond our current reach, quietly existing without recognition. In daily life, this idea has powerful implications. There are moments when clarity arrives not because something new has happened, but because we begin to see a familiar situation differently. A relationship, a habit, or a long-held belief can suddenly reveal a deeper meaning that was always there but unnoticed. The shift feels like discovery, but it is really awareness catching up with reality. This perspective encourages patience and openness. Instead of assuming that we already understand everything within our reach, it invites us to remain curious. It suggests that there is always more to uncover, not necessarily by searching outward, but by refining how we observe. When we begin to see discovery as recognition rather than creation, we become more attentive to subtle details. We stop overlooking the quiet and the ordinary, and in doing so, we realize that the world is far richer than it first appears, filled with truths that have been waiting, not to be created, but to be seen. Limits of human perception. Our understanding of the universe is incomplete, shaped by the limits of our tools, vision, and assumptions. Human perception feels reliable, but it is far from complete. We build our understanding of reality through what we can see, hear, and measure, trusting that our senses and tools give us an accurate picture of the world. Yet, this picture is always partial. It is shaped not only by what exists, but by what we are capable of detecting. The idea of a second moon reveals this limitation clearly. It was not hidden by intention, it was simply too subtle, too faint, or too complex for our current methods to easily recognize. Our perception is selective. It favors what is strong, bright, and obvious, while filtering out what seems small or insignificant. This selectivity is useful. It helps us navigate daily life without being overwhelmed. But it also creates blind spots. Entire aspects of reality can exist just beyond our threshold of awareness, influencing systems and outcomes without ever entering our conscious view. Even our most advanced instruments are extensions of these same limits. They expand our reach, but they do not eliminate boundaries. Every tool is designed with assumptions, and every measurement depends on what we choose to look for. If we are not searching in the right way, or if we do not yet know what to look for, important details can remain unnoticed. The second moon is not just a scientific curiosity. It is evidence that our understanding is always evolving, always incomplete. This limitation is not a flaw, it is a condition of being human. What matters is how we respond to it. When we assume that what we know is all there is, we close the door to deeper insight. But when we accept that our perception is limited, we create space for learning. We become more careful in our conclusions and more open to new possibilities. In everyday life, this awareness can change how we interpret situations. It reminds us that we may not be seeing the full picture, that there could be factors we have not considered. By acknowledging the limits of perception, we move from certainty to curiosity, and in that shift, our understanding begins to grow. Power of the unseen forces, just like the silent moon. Unseen influences in life quietly shape outcomes without seeking attention or recognition. There are forces at work in every system that never ask to be seen. They do not announce themselves, yet they shape outcomes in quiet and persistent ways. The idea of a second moon reflects this truth. It exists without spectacle, moving gently within Earth's gravitational influence, contributing to a larger balance without drawing attention. Its silence does not make it insignificant. If anything, it highlights how much can happen beyond the spotlight of awareness. In life, the same pattern repeats itself. Not every influence is visible or obvious. There are unseen efforts behind every achievement, hours of preparation, unnoticed sacrifices, small decisions made consistently over time. These elements rarely receive recognition, yet they are often the true foundation of success. What appears sudden or dramatic is usually supported by something quiet and steady beneath the surface. Relationships, too, are shaped by what is not always spoken or seen. A gesture, a moment of patience, or an unexpressed understanding can carry more weight than loud declarations. These subtle contributions create stability, trust, and continuity. Without them, even the most visible expressions lose their strength. The unseen in this sense is not secondary, it is essential. There are also broader forces that influence our direction without immediate awareness. Habits, environments, and internal beliefs operate quietly in the background, guiding choices and shaping outcomes over time. They do not demand attention, which is why they are often overlooked. Yet their impact can be far greater than any single visible action. Recognizing the power of these unseen forces changes how we interpret the world. It shifts focus away from what is merely noticeable and toward what is meaningful. It encourages patience, because not all results are immediate or visible. It also builds respect for the quiet processes that sustain growth and balance. When we begin to value what cannot always be seen, we develop a deeper understanding of cause and effect. We stop underestimating the small and the silent, and in doing so, we become more aware of the hidden structures that support everything around us. Structures that, like a silent partner in the sky, continue their work without ever needing to be noticed. Lesson in humility and curiosity. The idea challenges us to stay humble and keep questioning reality, reminding us that there is always more beyond what we currently understand. The idea of a hidden companion in our own cosmic neighborhood is a reminder that certainty can be misleading. We often move through life believing that what we understand is complete, that our knowledge is solid and dependable. But moments like this gently challenge that belief. They reveal that even in something as familiar as the space around Earth, there are still gaps in our awareness. This realization does not diminish our progress. It places it in perspective. Humility begins with recognizing that knowledge is always evolving. No matter how much we learn, there is always more beyond the edge of what we currently see. The presence of something unnoticed for so long encourages a quieter mindset, one that values questioning over assumption. It reminds us that being confident is not the same as being certain. Curiosity naturally follows this humility. When we accept that our understanding is incomplete, we become more open to exploration. We begin to ask better questions, not just about the universe, but about everything around us. Instead of settling for surface-level answers, we look deeper, aware that there may be layers we have yet to uncover. This mindset changes how we engage with the world. It softens rigid thinking and replaces it with openness. It allows us to consider possibilities without immediately dismissing them. In this way, curiosity becomes a tool for growth, guiding us toward a more accurate and meaningful understanding of reality. Ultimately, the lesson is simple but powerful. What we know is only a fraction of what exists. By staying humble and curious, we remain connected to the process of discovery, not as something that ends, but as something that continues quietly, always inviting us to see a little further than before